Hey everybody, I'm Darwin's Eyeball, hanging out in this beautiful Canadian forest on a beautiful sunny day with my handsome son right here. And all I can think about is PSVR because it's awesome and because I'm obsessed. If you're watching this, that probably means you're obsessed too. Luckily, we have PSVR without parole and viewer takeover, which you're watching right now.
This is Viewer Takeover. We film every Monday night. We bring it to YouTube every Tuesday. Is that right? Yeah, Tuesday. We're totally doing this on Tuesday. It's happening. Fantastic. My name is Brian Paul from Without Parole, right here. And these guys to my right, Dave. Don't forget, the Illuminati. Dave Station VR.
I thought I got kicked out. Wasn't that canon that I'm no longer in the Illuminati because I was inviting too many people?
Yeah, well, you know, this is how it works, man. Like, eventually they miss you. They let you come back.
If you're going to intro me, you got to keep track of my backstory.
Yeah.
Within the Without Parole lore.
I don't know what's canon. And that guy on the far right-hand side of the screen is AJ from the Underground. PSVR. Underground.
Oh, you can't see me because I'm underground. What's up, guys? What's up, Brian? What's up, Dave? What's up, Cats?
Every week, I don't know, is that how we do this? We talk about lots of stuff on Viewer Takeover.
How do we?
Brian, we kind of want to thank people.
Is that what we do?
We just want to say thank you.
Yeah. Well, then let's thank.
Who do
some
we want to
people.
thank first?
Well, I don't know. Let's thank that guy and his son who made that awesome Viewer Takeover introduction.
Very handsome kid.
Thank you very
What's
much.
up, Darwin's Eyeball?
Appreciate that guy, whoever he is out there.
Darwin's
Just
Eyeball.
generic copy and paste. We just need to do that. Just thank you, guy or girl, and we'll just copy and paste the intro every single time.
Insert name here. Darwin's Eyeball, handsome young lad in a beautiful Canadian forest backdrop. Gotta love it, man. Gotta love it. Yeah.
That's my dude. What's up, man?
That's how I feel too, man. Every time I go out into the woods or into the world, I go, why isn't this VR? That's all I think about. If you want to introduce next week's show, then I got some bad news for you. I think there might be one more in the queue, but keep your Viewer Takeover intros coming to withoutparole@gmail.com. Keep it short, keep it simple, keep it sexy. But Darwin's Eyeball is not the only person we want to thank. We also want to thank these people down here, these people with patreon.com/withoutparole. And they're the ones giving us $1 or more every single month. We really, really appreciate you giving us $1 or more, especially since I'm so bad at giving you guys litter box episodes. We film one every week. I don't know where they go. I'll do my best to keep those coming. Litter box, by the way, is just me and Jeremy shooting the shit. In case you didn't know, usually not PlayStation VR related. I just go, "Hey Jeremy, what's up?" And he goes on a fucking 10-minute tear about 80s movies or something. But of course, Darwin's Eyeball and the Patreon supporters are not the only people we want to thank this week, are they, AJ?
No, Brian. We'd like to thank those that changed their name to something GameCat adjacent, as you like to say. And this week, we've got 3 new GameCats we want to welcome to the GameCat Dojo. Starting with Jack the GameCat.
Nice and simple. Jack the Game Cat.
To the point. The guy, that's the Twitter guy. He changed his name.
Twitter guy.
Actually, I was thinking more like Jack from Tekken.
Could be Jack from Tekken too. Yeah.
It's not Jack from Titanic.
Jack from Titanic, but he's dead, so probably not him.
Dude, that door was totally big enough. Who else we got? AJ.
We've also got V the GameCat.
Formerly known as I'm Lord Guile.
Another fighting game. Of course, this is V. I imagine like the V for Vendetta, one of my favorite movies ever. V for Vendetta is amazing. If you haven't watched it, it's a should we. Finally,
Wrong show, AJ.
It's got to be better than those PlayStation 1 games you've been playing.
hey, you leave my PlayStation 1 games alone.
Who's our last one?
Our last one is Bit Jello Boy 30, that jiggly gamer cat.
Ooh, he's so jiggly. I like it.
Jiggly.
That is a pretty good one, man.
And it's so involved. There's so many moving parts in that.
They're getting creative with this. I love this. This is what I like to see, guys.
Yeah.
I like to see when they have some fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
It reminds me of back when I was in high school and there was that that band Green Jello, but then for copyright reasons they had to change it to Green Jelly, and he's kind of incorporated both of them. It's like Jello and Jiggly. I think he's going to have a copyright issue. The new addition to the show is our clip of the week. And usually, if you guys have a video that PlayStation VR related, send it in or upload it to YouTube and send me the link over at withoutparole@gmail.com. And then we can, short little cool PSVR clip. This week we're doing something a little different. So the clip this week is not a clip at all. It's not a video clip. It's actually a drawing that Joe Mojo sent us to give a shout out to another game cat, Sue Miles.
Snakes eat the bugs.
Do what now?
That's an inside joke. If you were on the Discord, you might know.
Wait, I'm on the Discord.
So-
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
No.
Oh, good.
But I assume
No,
it came from.
you're not cool enough to know.
What's this picture of? I believe this is Joe Mojo's dog. Brian, what's the name on that dog? That's a beautiful dog.
Anouk, Anouke. Is that how you pronounce that?
I don't know, but that sounds close to me.
That's a beautiful dog, and that is an amazing drawing, Sue. That is ridiculous.
well rendered.
Right.
And
That
what
is.
do you
We
have
got
to
some
say?
talented game
Joe-
cats, man. We got musicians, artists. Send in your stuff. We want to see it and give it a shout out because we love to see all the crazy talents that the game cats have.
Yeah, this is what happens when game cats collide, man.
Yeah.
But what do we really do here on Viewer Takeover, Dave?
Well, that's quite a good question. What we do is we collect questions from the audience that they'd love to have answered by us specifically for whatever reason, with a hashtag Viewer Takeover or in the Discord on the hashtag Viewer Takeover channel, and we just get together and we talk about some stuff. So, you want me to lead it off here with the first one? I got it ready to go.
Do it up,
Take it
man.
away, Dave.
We got Bell Ramio, our old friend from the Discord. He says, hashtag Viewer Takeover. Luckily, on the 4th of June, we will get some PS5 info. Okay, we're going to have to retroactively, we're going to update this. Actually, the 11th of June now. They postponed it, as you are
Get it
aware.
right, Bell. Jeez.
These are last week's questions.
Yeah.
Some of them.
Yeah, sorry we didn't have a show last week.
What do you know?
Yeah. Are you, like me, getting tired of these endless speculations and patent breakdowns without any real info? Yes, is the answer to that one. I mean, no one can predict the future, and I feel a lot of sources spend too much time speculating what we might get in 2 years and don't focus enough on what we have or will get for sure very soon, like in a few weeks. Yeah, that's true. I mean, there is some big stuff that we're about to get in a few weeks that people are focused on, like Iron Man, I think.
Yeah.
But in general, yeah, speculation is always just sort of pissing in the wind. Nobody really knows what they're talking about.
My answer to you is that I predict two different things. I predict Gran Turismo, either Sport or 7, with PSVR support on the PS5. I also predict Astrobot 2. Boom! Didn't see that coming, did you?
I don't know.
Eh.
I don't know. Every time we talk about the DualSense, you're like, dude, Astrobot running through sand is going to feel so good on my fingers.
Well, these are, of course, the two games that were mentioned that they've made these tech demos for the DualSense. So I feel like these are two games that will get announced and will be available near launch, if not at launch. These are my bold predictions, guys.
Yeah. So bold predictions because they're things that have kind of happened announced already.
Hey,
I'm just saying. I'm really going out on a limb there,
cramping
AJ.
my style here.
Really going on a limb. I love it. Yeah, I'll go. My prediction is more vague, and this is something that I've been saying for a very long time. Something that I kind of expected a long time ago when PlayStation VR first launched. They were still doing E3 demonstrations, E3 presentations, and big fireworks and lasers, that kind of stuff. And so up on these gigantic screens, almost like the ones that covered the walls and all the way in front of you, there was, they'd be showing Horizon Zero Dawn and whatever games, and it was just so kind of incredible to see it in that way. And there was a part of me, because I didn't realize the direction that PlayStation VR was heading, there was part of me that kept thinking, at a certain point during this presentation or these presentations, they're going to, somebody important, Andrew House, is going to get on the stage and go, all these games exclusive to PlayStation 4, amazing, first party, whatever, and they're all going to be playable on PlayStation VR. Like that was just something I heard in my head, and I was like, and it never happened, of course, for multiple reasons, mostly because, that would be super expensive to do, but also, we kind of quickly realized that the PlayStation 4 isn't like a huge fucking powerhouse when it comes to VR games. It has limitations for everybody except for like the most AAA of AAA developers who really had the time and resources to commit to this thing. So
Well, I've said before that sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I've said before that this hybrid AAA game with VR perspective that you can play in could really be a way to ease in VR without spending 110% assets on VR. Sorry,
Right.
continue.
Well, no. So, and that's exactly it. And so, I feel as though my vaguer prediction for Sony moving forward, and possibly this upcoming event, is to finally hear them say something along those lines. I don't expect them to say, in every game you saw today will be playable in PlayStation VR, because that doesn't make sense. You know, you have like 2D pixel art games, and you're like, is this something I want to play in VR? But I do feel like they will have a certain part of the showcase that says where they go, in every game we just showed over the last 5 minutes is also playable in VR. I feel like this might be a bigger part of their messaging going forward. And that's my prediction. Again, you guys know me. I'm way too optimistic about this shit. But I got my fingers crossed that, you know,
I totally agree.
that PlayStation 5 is finally when we're going to hear this kind
I
of
agree with you, Brian. Totally optimistic.
How dare I be optimistic in a time like this?
Hey, keep it up, man.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
Somebody's going to smile.
Dave?
I think Brian's right that would be a really good marketing idea from them. That sort of surprise at the end, like, and guys,
Just one
you know,
more.
just like you said. I think that's if I was in charge of marketing at Sony, I would keep some shit like that in my pocket and deploy it that way, because people love those surprise drops in the middle of stuff like that. And I don't really have any major predictions except for maybe Prey. You guys been hearing the stuff about Prey? There's been rumors that it might be coming to PSVR, and I would think for a game like that, that's like, it's a very pretty game on flat screen, and it's like a full-on, maybe not AAA, but like AA, high-quality game. And I feel like PS5 could totally run that thing, but PS4 is not going to be able to run the full game. So if that is a thing that's actually happening, PS5 seems like where it would land.
Yeah.
The next question comes to us from Lipnox88 from the Discord. It says hashtag viewer takeover. Given that PSVR has the most headsets, I'm looking at the wrong question here.
So the next question comes to us from Lipnox88 from the Discord. He writes hashtag viewer takeover. Follow up to my last question. Man, I'm going to use all that for the outro. If these games aren't supported on PlayStation 5, do you think you'll hook up to your PS4 just to play Separation, Brian? Hotel R&R, AJ, Battlezone, Dave. I know Brian has mentioned he never uses his OG PS4 once he gets his Pro because the pain of plugging it in. Thanks. I totally hijacked that question from AJ. You know,
I think it was supposed to be.
dude, here's the thing. I always want to have all my old systems hooked up, and I want to be able to play all my old games, and I don't, because my place is really small. I've got a lot of wires crisscrossing the entire apartment. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's just a mess, and I've had to kind of simplify and sort of strip down my entertainment center and keep things really simple. And this is why I need backwards compatibility. So like, I really don't think I'll be playing my PlayStation 4 much longer, once things totally shift to PlayStation 5. I'm gonna have to have them both set up for a while, because obviously, there might be some things that aren't working on one as they will on the other. Man, yeah, I need some backward compatibility in my life to alleviate this problem.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I think honestly, I'm probably going to have to sell my PS4 or trade it in to get a PS5. So I think that if I don't have backwards compatibility, that's just a wash. I guess I'll just play PS5 games. And the thought of having a PS4 sitting right next to a PS5 on my already crowded little shelf over here under the TV is kind of ridiculous. So yeah, I think I'm probably just going to hope that things are compatible and take the plunge, swap them out essentially.
I never get rid of consoles anymore, so I will absolutely, even though I really think it's going to be a pain if I have to unplug the VR from my PS5 back into my PS4 and back and forth, that would be kind of a pain in the ass. So definitely with you guys here on wanting the backwards compatibility for at least PS4. But that being said, if there's a certain game I'm going to want to play, then I will have my PS4 ready to play, maybe on a different TV. I've got two TVs, so kind of got the benefit there. But yeah, I keep all my systems these days. I've got my PS3 right in front of me pretty much. So ready to go.
Nice. Yeah, having two setups definitely helps that situation. I got the one, I gotta make it work.
Business pleasure.
Same.
All right, AJ, what's the next question?
The next question, Brian, is from Tax Refund from PSVR this week. It says, hashtag viewer takeover. Given that PSVR has the most headsets, why do you think it is that PC VR seems to always be the lead platform? Power, ease of development / controls? And if power, do you think this will change after PS5 arrives?
So power is part of it. The controls help a little bit because obviously they have joysticks on their motion controllers. But I really think that the main reason is that tech blogs, tech websites, tech magazines, and just people, content creators in general, lean towards PC VR because there's all this sort of like speculative tech, really expensive oddball shit that people are just interested in seeing. There's a lot more happening, I guess, in the actual platform as far as like new shit coming out. Because with PSVR, it's just new games come out. But I don't know. PC stuff also has this air of like it's more interesting because you can mod it, or you can play this game that isn't supposed to be played this way actually in VR. Like you can play Alien Isolation in VR. People get excited about stuff like that. So that's what gets views. That's what gets coverage. So the silent, sales of the PSVR, like they've created a huge market for themselves, but people online don't talk about it that much when they're covering tech stuff. Because really, to a lot of those blogs, it's just like a low-end peripheral for some console that they don't care about. Whereas the tech space is way more interested in PC development type stuff.
Yeah.
So I just think people are apathetic to it because it's not in their wheelhouse. And so it just doesn't get the hype that that PlayStation does. And there's that PC master race type shit.
I got 3 words for this answer, and that's Steam Early Access. Right? Because that's the answer. That is absolutely the reason that PC gets all the games first, because you can be a small dev team, you can publish your game on Steam, incomplete, make money off of it, and keep developing it, keep finishing the game while the funds are rolling in, and it's a system that people understand. Hey, this game isn't done. So if it's buggy, or if it's got problems, or if it's incomplete, or if it's only got a couple levels, that's what you bought in for. You probably paid a little bit less because you understand that that's going to be the case. And until Sony has a system like that, then I think this trend will continue. I think that we're going to see games continually come to Steam Early Access because that's where they can recoup their development costs fastest. It's usually once the game is finally complete and done over there that we get the whole thing gets ported over to PlayStation VR, and it's kind of like this. Generally, what we assume we're getting on PlayStation is the finished product and not a work in progress.
I agree with both you guys. I like how Dave brought up the mods and stuff. And then you've got, stuff like VR chat, which is like people love to do and really relies on being able to mod the game primarily. Brian, of course, killed it with the whole early access thing. It's a great, easy way to use it. But PSVR does have the biggest install base. And most of the developers I talk to are like, there's 5 million headsets that we need to be able to take advantage of. We want to bring it to PSVR. However, the PS4, just from what I've been told many times, it is the power related issue where it just doesn't have the power processing speed to run on the PS4. And yes, I do think PS5 will solve a lot of those problems. Games like Seeking Dawn, I was really looking forward to, and they just said, we just can't get it to run, especially the OG PS4. I think the Pro can handle a good bit, but the original PS4, even the best games still have like a little bit of screen tearing effect and some, lower frames per second, things like that. So, but I'm definitely hoping that the PS5 alleviates a lot of these issues. I'm already talking to a bunch of devs that are like, yeah, PS4 can't run our game, but PS5 will be a lot easier. Similar to how PS3 was really hard for indie games now, and then PS4 was like, here's your palette, your empty palette for games for you to create, your space, your RAM, your whatever graphics. And I think PS5 is going to be designed with a little bit more power in mind and be able to do it.
Yeah, for sure. I think we're going to see a lot of games come to PlayStation 5 when there were a lot of games on the PC side that never made it to PlayStation 4 for that exact reason, because of the power. As far as the lead platform goes, though, I still don't think it's going to change anything, unfortunately.
Yeah. The other thing to think about too is that lead platform and in terms of power is an interesting thing, because what you just brought up, AJ, and what Brian just brought up, I think what all of us brought up kind of comes together in this way where it's like, if a developer can make a game run on Quest and they've already released a Quest version or they're actively working on a Quest port, they could have put it on PSVR. But as like a market, the Quest is more exciting to them because it's a new device that everybody's trying to get their hands on.
Right.
Whereas PSVR has been out in the ecosystem for a while, and they have time to like wait. You don't have to jump while the iron's hot, on that one. Strike while the
If PSVR 2 drops, everybody's going to try to be targeting that. Everybody.
I hope so. I hope that's the way it works. But I think the Quest gets an outsized share of developers working towards it, making games that could easily be on PSVR on a PS4, no problem at all. That
Controls would maybe
may not even be coming.
Controls, tracking, 360. They have to redesign their games in that degree, so it's not entirely that easy. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
I also think
power related.
I also think one of the other things we haven't touched on too much is obviously Sony's certification process, which has been a bear for a lot of developers this generation because it's so difficult to keep the frame rate, at 60 FPS as mandated by Sony. Sony's got these really strict regulations that you need to adhere to get your game published for PlayStation VR, and I think we're not going to see so many problems next gen because of the power of the PlayStation 5, at least for the first year or two. Where developers aren't actually tapping into the full power of the system. So I think it's going to be easier to keep those technical things from being an issue for the first couple of years. So
yeah, I think so too.
That might solve some of our problems as well. All right, next question comes to us from...
Oh, I'll take this one. So we're going with Space Dad.
Space Dad, right? Yeah.
Hashtag Viewer Takeover. He said, when I first bought my PSVR and loaded VR Worlds, I was blown away by the title/menu. It's very mind-blowing. He said, recently playing Wipeout, and once again blown away by the title. What are the best titles/menus you guys have seen? I'm going to answer this one first so no one steals my answer. But I've said this from the rooftops, from the mountaintops. Iron Man VR, even in the demo, is like my favorite menu loading, any kind of interstitial screen where you're not doing a thing. It's interactive. It's very polished. Things just make sense and look nice. And I don't know. The loading screens especially feel like the best way anyone has ever done a loading screen on PSVR that I've seen. So my money is on Iron Man, and I think once it comes out, we'll see that is going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, this is so generic of me at least. I'm gonna say Resident Evil 7. Because they put you in that trailer that you don't even see right away. It's not till like once you get out of the house and into the backyard that you finally see where that location is. But to have it's one of the coolest locations in the game, I think, as far as detail goes. It's like there's just stuff scattered everywhere. And I remember being in that going, wow, this looks pretty amazing. I was like, there's no way the game's going to look this good, right? And then I start the game and I go, oh, fuck, I'm screwed. Yeah. So that was just an amazing first impression to get of that game. Having never played it in non-VR, went straight to the VR mode.
I totally agree with Space Dad's comment about VR Worlds. That was one of my favorite menu screens, especially when you have and like the loading screen where you have that ball of water for ocean descent. Yeah. I mean, who doesn't just sit there just splashing that water? It's pretty amazing.
Put your head inside of it.
Literally, the VR Worlds menu is like something I like to show off to people, like to showcase what VR can do. But as for my own, this one, I don't know. I didn't think anybody was going to say this one, but I love being underwater, and one of my favorite title menus is Final Fantasy 15 Monsters of the Deep, because it has you underwater. And you're sitting there, it looks really pretty, and there's fish swimming around, and then this giant fish just comes swimming by you, and you're just like, whoa. I love that being under there. As far as loading screens, I really think No Man's Sky has a cool loading screen because you never really feel like it's a loading screen. You're always like warping and it makes it seem like you're traveling at light speed rather than being at a loading screen. So that is a great loading screen, probably my favorite. And I do have to give an honorable mention to the title screen of Rush of Blood when you're just slowly making your way to the title screen. There's like things screaming in the doors behind you, things creeping out, looking at you, and it's just it sets the tone immediately. So that's a great one as well.
Dave, are you up with the next question?
I thought I read the first one.
You did. Now we're up to number 4.
Oh, we're on number 4.
I believe.
Cool. Corix the Game Cat from Discord says, #viewer takeover. Could they make a VR game too scary for you to play it all the way through? And then he tags all of us, including Jeremy, who's not here to answer. But then
I'll answer for Jeremy.
How about on PSVR 2? Could it be even scarier on PSVR 2?
I'll answer for Jeremy. I bet they could make a game that's too scary for him.
Oh, absolutely. I saw him play Resident Evil, man.
Yeah, absolutely. There's your answer for Jeremy. I'm a baby, man. I am absolutely a chicken. I know I talk all the time about, oh man, I love scary games and they're my favorite thing ever. Scary movies. I love everything horror. But the reason I love it is because I'm so scared. It's like the one emotion I'm still able to achieve as an adult. I'm like, oh.
Joy is out the window.
Gone.
Yeah.
Totally gone.
Yeah.
And so I've like really, I relish in being able to tap into that emotion so heavily. When playing Resident Evil 7, I know you didn't have this experience, Dave, but there were certainly points where I was like, I don't know if I can move forward because I'm terrified. I'm actually like paralyzed by fear right now. And so if Resident Evil 7 did it on the OG PS4, where I first played it in VR, I can absolutely see there being a game that is just too terrifying. I mean, that was a flat screen game that was ported into VR. You don't have hands or anything, like the things that would cause extra immersion. I think next gen with some, closer to photorealistic environments and a little bit more immersion factor with new move controllers. I don't think it's going to take all that much for me to go, I don't know if I can do this. Like I am ready to be a chicken and basically, stream a game and go, I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this game for you guys. Again, I can't wait. That'll be the crowning achievement in my video game career to actually say, guys, I played a game that I can't finish because it's too scary. I can't wait. I hope that happens. What about you guys?
I don't know. I have this tendency, and not to seem like I'm a badass or anything, but like video games have never scared me in a way where I was like, this is too much. I cannot persist. Like I played Eternal Darkness in a pitch black hotel room one time and was totally fine. Didn't get spooked at all. And that's a creepy fucking game. That psychologically gets in your head and messes with you. And I don't know. I love Resident Evil 7. I can see that it's horrific and stuff jumps out and you're like, oh God, I got to shoot this guy. But in terms of like that deep sort of seated fear where it's like, I don't know what's around that corner and I don't know if I can force myself to go in there. I've never felt that in a video game before. Like, I don't know, just there's always in the back of my head, like, this isn't real. I'm playing a game. Like, why should I be scared? I'm scared about like having a weird conversation with a cashier and looking like a freak or something, or like, going to a party and somebody says like, oh, that guy was a dick. Like, this is the stuff I worry about. I don't care about some video game guy jumping out at me and being spooky and stuff. So I don't know.
Short answer.
I think they can't. I will play the fuck out of every scary game until the end.
Yeah. Short answer, no, because I love VR games way too much to not like try and beat them or see them to the end. However, if there was one game that would probably be the hardest game for me to play all the way through would be Alien Isolation. If it ever got a port to VR, aliens have scared me since I was a child. Responsible for
what's on that shirt?
Oh, I thought we were taking our clothes off. I had no idea what was
many
happening.
A nightmare. It's choose your alien.
All these shirts.
I don't know. I think this is from Threadless again. I don't know. Okay. I love this one though. It's got like, I don't know, choose your alien. But Alien versus Alien Isolation would be the hardest game. That's the only game I have ever tapped out on flat. Wow. Just it is the only game to ever make me tap out on. But again, if it ever came to VR, I would be too determined. I would have to beat it. It would just probably be the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
You know, I feel like there are things that if they were just these subtle, when sometimes at the beginning of games you have to go, oh yeah, I agree to your terms and conditions, you check the box, whatever. It's like hotel R&R. Yes, I agree to my name being on a leaderboard. If they snuck in something in there like, hey, and yes, I agree to my name being on a leaderboard, and also we're going to tap into your Facebook account. Like they just put it into tiny little print, right? How crazy would it be if you're in this scary house and you walk by? I've said this before on other shows, but how crazy would it be? You walk by a table and there's some picture frames, and it's like your mom or somebody.
That would be some Psycho Mantis level shit.
Exactly.
That would be cool.
And I actually always thought that
It
Hideo
would be very
Kojima would be the
upsetting.
guy to do this. Where it's like they grab shit for you, personal information, and use it for your personal experience in the game. I always thought that would be so cool, and I think that would actually get to people like you, Dave, who like you'd be like, I did not expect to see something like that, and that just really fucked with my head.
Well, I think people might have that initial reaction, and then they'd be like, wait a second, I don't remember ever consenting to you looking at my fucking Facebook account. And then you go back and you see it's in tiny print, and then you get mad at these people for invading your privacy. That's what would happen.
I'd be
The
fine with
developers
it. I'd be like, bring it on.
You might be, but they would get a huge online backlash for sneaking in a provision that they can
You're
sneak
missing the
around.
point. This would
I'm
work.
just saying,
Wouldn't
it would
this
be-
work?
It would work for like a few days until people started getting pissed about it. And then
I meant you, not people. People are awful. I meant you.
People exist.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to be realistic here.
Motorcycle on my end. And then the last question comes to us from
The Fininator.
There he is.
96.
Darth Vader himself.
Oh, is that Darth Vader?
It is indeed. Yeah.
Hello, Lord Vader.
Are you reading this question? I don't remember who's who.
It was yours.
It's mine. This comes to us from Fininator96 on Discord with #viewer takeover. He says, "What was your choice to move on from flat screen games to PSVR?" And then he tags again all of us.
I'll start with this one because I don't think I've started with any of those. I was getting bored of gaming. I've been gaming for, I don't even know, pretty much my entire life. And I love this cinematic, the way that graphics and stuff have changed and everything. I loved Bloodborne. Really was liking Horizon, Nier Automata, Rocket League. Something just started to get a little repetitive to me, gameplay-wise. I think the storytelling has improved, but gameplay, third-person stuff, and I was just kind of done. I had a stint with retro games again, and then VR happened. I took a chance with it, and I was like, this is where light gun games are going. And yeah, Rush of Blood, and then I tried it, and I was just like, oh my God, this is the gameplay, the next evolution of gameplay, experience, storytelling, everything that I've been looking for.
Yeah, my story's not all that dissimilar. I mean, it's like, I've been keeping up with video games pretty consistently since I was born, and every generation was cool. Like I think the jump from PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 2 was really significant, and it was really like kind of perfecting the whole 3D graphics thing and saying what can we do with 3D worlds that we couldn't do on PlayStation 1. And then PlayStation 3 was like, okay, now we kind of branch into open worlds and kind of expand how big those worlds can be and play with that. And so it did seem like there was this generational leap every single time. Whereas when we got to PlayStation 4, I was like, oh yeah, no, these are just still open worlds, and they're probably bigger than the ones before, but I'm not seeing anything new or exciting here. And there were plenty of great games on PlayStation 4. I was totally into Bloodborne. I was actually had a blast with Infamous Second Son. Like I've played a ton of regular PS4 games, but yeah, something was totally missing. And then when PSVR came around, I was like, this is fucking way different than anything we've ever done before. Like it reminded me of the first time I ever got my hands on a Nintendo controller. I was like, this is groundbreaking. This is amazing. And I think I was really fortunate, because when I said, I was filming with Jeremy and Michelle, and Des at that point. And I was like, guys, I don't want to do this normal gaming thing anymore. I just want to cover PlayStation VR. And they were all totally on board. They were like, yeah, no, we see how passionate you are about it. Let's pivot and see what happens. And I felt very, very fortunate that they were all on board. I mean, I don't know. We're still doing it. So I guess everything worked out okay.
I would say it probably seems to have worked out fairly well so far.
Yeah.
So my story is a little different. I think I don't believe either of you guys had any VR experience prior to this, right? You didn't own any kind of. Okay, so back when the Oculus developer kits were coming out, I had just built a computer and it was up to spec to run that sort of stuff. And I said, hey, this would be like a really cool little tech thing to check out. I always like new gizmos and gadgets and stuff. So I picked one up, and there was pretty much nothing substantial to play. It was just all these little tech demos, or like, they'd recreate a scene from like a Studio Ghibli movie, but it ran like shit, even though it was like a static scene and everything was juddering. And it was just really janky, but, kind of a proof of concept. A few things worked. And then I sort of there wasn't much to do with it. So I let it sit there and get dust and eventually sold it. But then when PSVR was coming out, I hadn't really kept up too much on it, but I tried one of the Best Buy demo stations with Eve Valkyrie and I think like Batman, or I can't remember all the games they had, but definitely Eve Valkyrie was the first one I tried. And that blew me away because that was like what I had tried, but it was a game and it was polished and it ran perfectly. And it was just, oh, this is what it could have been like, or this is what it's going to be like. And I already had a PS4, so it was kind of a no-brainer. I did have to run all around town because I didn't pre-order anything. And I had to like buy $100 Move controllers at this one Best Buy and then drive across the city and, get the headset by itself somewhere else, buy the camera somewhere. But it was worth it. I since day one have been really, really stoked on it. And yeah,
I got really fortunate, man. There was I remember it was really tough at the restaurant. Like I think that whole year leading up to PlayStation VR, it was just one of those, like the economy was maybe not doing so hot or whatever it was, and none of us were making a ton of money at the restaurant. And so and I remember like we're getting closer and closer. I'd had the PlayStation VR pre-ordered since the day it went up for pre-order. And I was like, man, this is going to be a lot of money coming out of my account that I don't have technically. And I considered canceling it up until the very, very, very last second. And I had actually decided to cancel it. And I got home from work that night after having a horrible, horrible night at work, making like $50 or something on an 8-hour shift. It was terrible. And I've had plenty of those nights. And going home, getting on Amazon, going to cancel it, and it had just shipped like 20 minutes before. And I was like,
the rest is history.
Yeah, I was like, I guess this is meant to be. So I got really, really fortunate on that one. So I'm still paying it off. All right, you guys, I think that does it for another episode of Viewer Takeover. Make sure you submit your Viewer Takeover questions either in the comments below with the hashtag Viewer Takeover, all one word, or join our Discord, which you should be doing anyway. Click the link in the description to join the Discord and then leave your comment or question in the hashtag Viewer Takeover channel. Also, just be there, man. Hang out. There's a lot of great conversations, a lot of cool game cats there all the time. Also, make sure you hit us up on patreon.com/withoutparole. For $1 or more every month to keep supporting the channel, and that about does it. Also, change your name to GameCat, hashtag GameCat in the comments below. We'll give you a shout out on next week's show. And send us your Viewer Takeover intros with parole@gmail.com. I think that covers it, man. There's a lot of fucking shit to cover here.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, another great show. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, AJ. My name is Brian. This is Viewer Takeover, and we're out.
Lipnox88 from the Discord says hashtag Viewer Takeover.
Hop right into that with no preamble at all. We didn't even wrap up the last one. They just coming in hot.
Let's do it.
So the next question comes to us from.
Gotta keep this going, man. It would have gone really smooth, but kind of interrupted me. But hashtag Lipnox88.
It was a jagged intro. That's why I interrupted you, man. Anyways, So what is Lipnox?
Lipnox88 from the Discord says hashtag Viewer Takeover. Follow up to my last question. If these games aren't supported on PS5, do you think you will hook your... Okay, shit, hold on. God damn it.
Hey AJ, right. How about why don't we just cut all that out and we say the next question comes to us from...
All right, do it one more time.
I thought you were doing it.
Yeah, you are doing it.
I said do it one more time.
Do what?
Say the next question comes to us. You want me to say that? Okay.
Yeah.
The next question comes to us from Lipnox88 from the Discord. Says hashtag Viewer Takeover. Given that PSVR has the most headsets, I'm looking at the wrong question here.
So the next question comes to us from Lipnox88 from the Discord. He writes #viewer takeover. Follow up to my last question. Man, I'm going to use all that for the outro.